Here's what Vegas thinks about Matt Stafford. He's the new Rams quarterback. So last year, Matt Stafford won 5 games in Detroit. And then he leaves and goes to L.A., and that terrible Jared Goff goes to Detroit. You know what Vegas has the Lions over-under at this morning? 5. Not a half game better with Jared Goff over Matt Stafford. Well, what about the Rams? Well, the Rams won 10 games last year with terrible Jared Goff. Thank goodness he's out of here. Stafford's in. The over-under total in Vegas on the Rams is 10.5. Vegas does not buy Matt Stafford as a messiah or a savior. If you go look at Matt Stafford's career, his 12 years in Detroit, couple of different injuries, he averaged 7 wins. That's about it. He had 2 good years. 2011, he had Calvin Johnson doing amazing things. 2014, he finally had a decent defense. 3 playoffs. And they didn't do much in those. Now, he only averaged about 1 or 2 Pro Bowlers during those years. So let me give you a comp. Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck had the wrong coach, the wrong GM, terrible O-line. But Andrew Luck, unlike Stafford, was not lost or hurt in his first year or 2 in the league. No, he was 11-5, then 11-5, then 11-5, and actually got to the AFC Championship. Don't ask me how. They had no players. So let's take Stafford out of the transformative category. Like Andrew Luck was transformative. We've never seen a number 1 pick go to a terrible team and not only win, but like win big with nothing. So let's take him out of that category because I hear a lot of that in Los Angeles. Oh, Matt Stafford's going to change the world. No, he's not. But it's interesting. What Matt Stafford couldn't consistently do is overcome dysfunction in Detroit. And I am not saying it's easy. Detroit's poorly run. But I saw Carson Palmer do it in 7 years in Cincinnati with multiple playoff seedings. I saw Kurt Warner do it in Arizona. I saw Andrew Luck do it. And I saw Deshaun Watson until last year do it in Houston. I've seen guys who have overcome regularly. Deshaun Watson, multiple consecutive playoffs in Houston. Carson Palmer, Cincinnati was as poorly run or worse than Detroit. He got him to the playoffs several times in 7 years. Kurt Warner, Arizona. Andrew Luck, he's not that. So the question is, how good is he? Well, here's what I find funny. Who we love and who we don't. With the Rams defense, which was number 1 in the league last year, the best defensive player in the league probably in a decade, Aaron Donald, and with Sean McVay as coach, and we all acknowledge he's really good, and with an offensive line that was rated top 3 last year, no reason to think there'll be a great drop-off this year, and an excellent wide receiving core. Are you telling me Matt Ryan and Derek Carr, Vegas wouldn't have them at 10 wins? That's interesting, right? It's interesting. Nick Wright made me think of this morning and adds a layer to this argument. Not a criticism of Matt Stafford, but it's interesting who we fall in love with in the National Football League.
Matt Stafford was in Detroit when they had Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell was there for 4 years. And Jim Caldwell, by the way, won Super Bowl, his assistant coach with Indy, coached Indy to a 14-2 season as a head coach, ran Baltimore's offense when Joe Flacco looked like Joe Montana for a month. Did he have weapons? Well, he had Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate for 2 of those years together. He had Marvin Jones. He had weapons around him. And he squeezed out more than 9 wins once.
Now, I don't want to be Mr. Negative. I live in Los Angeles, and I like Matt Stafford. But I say this as a consistent theme on this show. I watch the media, who they fall in love with, who they embrace. And I find it fascinating how they've now dumped on Goff and elevated Stafford. And you know who hasn't? Vegas. And I always trust Vegas. Let me shift gears to this. I know it's a Baker Mayfield topic. Mr. Negative. No, it's not. But Pro Football Focus is interesting. So they did their all NFL underrated team. And Baker was the quarterback. And I thought, well, I'm going to go, 12 national TV commercials, underrated. All right. I'm going to go to Merriam-Webster, the dictionary this morning. And I'm going to look up the word because I want to get it right. You know, Joy and I talk about this. Not about being right, about getting it right. So what is underrated? Let's get the exact definition of underrated. Rated or valued too low. In fact, the synonyms are unnoticed, unrecognized, uncredited. Baker Mayfield? I'm going to put up Derek Carr's numbers. And I want you to think about this when I show you Derek Carr's numbers. Derek Carr has a coach we're not sure can coach and a GM we're not sure can GM. He had to move franchises, does not have a number one receiver. And yet Derek Carr, and I'm going to give you 3 years with Gruden and Mayock. And you would admit to me, you're not sure if Gruden and Mayock are going to make it past this year. 69% completion percentage. 2.5 to 1 TD to interception ratio, 99 passer rating, no number one receiver. They had to move the franchise. And if you've looked at recent days transactions in the NFL, we're not sure this organization in the executive area and coaching knows what the hell they're doing. Now let's look at Baker Mayfield's numbers in terms of underrated with the best offensive line. I'm not even going to count his 3 years. I'm not going to do it. Because he's had some dysfunction, like Derek Carr's had. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to count 1 year last year when he had the coach of the year, Kevin Stefanski, who appears, and the GM, Andrew Berry, appear to be very smart, talented young executives and coaches. His completion percentage significantly lower than Carr. TD interception ratio is fine. Passer rating lower. But, Baker's numbers are fine. But that's with the coach of the year, the best offensive line, a clear Jarvis Landry's a great young receiver. He's not a top 5, but he's really, really good. Excellent running backs. Look at those numbers. Let's go back to the synonyms for underrated. Unnoticed, unrecognized. Folks, Lamar Jackson has been an MVP, doesn't have one national TV commercial. Baker Mayfield is like Blake Griffin. I can't watch a sporting event without him showing up on my television set. Look at the last couple of days the Raider moves. They're getting rid of third-round picks that never took a snap with the Raiders. So if you're asking me, it's funny who we embrace. And the Pro Football Focus, I would strongly suggest to my staff, we go on Amazon, buy a dictionary, and send it to Pro Football Focus. Baker's a lot of things. Underrated? He was a number one pick. He won a Heisman. He's on every commercial in the league. We all acknowledge that once they pay him, this roster won't be nearly as neat and tidy. Derek Carr is not only more underrated, Derek Carr is the most underrated player in the league. Folks, go look at what chaos has done to Andrew Luck. It got him out of the league. Go look at what chaos has done to great players in this league. We don't even know if the Raiders know what they're doing. And they don't have a number one receiver. And they've moved. This is not a shot at Baker Mayfield. But both the Stafford commentary and the Baker commentary, it is weird to me who we embrace, who we root for, who we elevate, who we discard, who we roll our eyes at. Maybe Jared Goff's not terrible. And I know Derek Carr isn't terrible. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.